into some March Madness. And we're going to begin with Texas Tech taking on Gonzaga. 6:09 Eastern tip-off at the Honda Center. Gonzaga opened 4.5, total 139 and a hook. And since those markets opened this one up, we're seeing steady two-way action when it comes to the spread, although we did see a 1.5-point move downward on the total, down to 138. So once again, Gonzaga minus 4.5, total open 139.5, down to 138. 54% of the consensus is leaning toward Gonzaga. 56% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Red Raiders are plus 175 on the money line. Texas Tech, it ranks 165th in road scoring. They're also 203rd in road offensive rebounding. The Raiders rank 131st in road three-point shooting, and they're 100th in road defensive rebounding. Texas Tech has failed to cover in 3 out of their last 6 when catching the points. They're also covering just 50% of their games as the official road underdog. They are 0-1 against the spread in their lone game that tipped off at the current number. Now, Gonzaga on the other side has been an absolute juggernaut. Very, very fun to watch this year. They're 23-13 against the spread overall for the year. They're covering 65% of their games when laying the points. They're also covering 64% of their games after 4 or less days off. Gonzaga ranks first in the country in scoring. They're averaging 88.2 points per contest. They also rank first in offensive field goal percentage. They're shooting 53% from the field. One more thing to note about the Bulldogs, they rank 6th in defensive field goal percentage. Their opponents are shooting just 38% from the field. Now, total-wise, Gonzaga is 5-4 to the over in their last 9, 8-6 to the over, taking on teams averaging more than 72 points per contest. Texas Tech 60% to the over in their last 10. I'm going to purchase the 0.5 point, slide it down, and take the Gonzaga Bulldogs -4 and the over 138 in that matchup there. Next game, Purdue, Virginia, 8:49 Eastern tip-off in that matchup there. The Cavaliers open -4.5, total 127. And once again, good two-way action when it comes to the spread. Not a whole lot of movement when it comes to that number there. Although we did see a 1-point move downward on the total, down to 126. So once again, UVA opened and remains -4.5, total open 127, down to 126. Purdue, well, 56% of the consensus is leaning towards the Boilermakers. 55% shaded toward the over. Right now, Purdue's plus 165 on the money line. Now, if you like Purdue in this matchup here, they've certainly been a fun team to watch, but they do rank 108th in college basketball in offensive field goal percentage. They're also ranking 199th in offensive field goal percentage on the road. They're shooting just 41% from the field away from home. A couple more things to add about Purdue. They rank 141st in defending the 3-ball. They're also 215th in free throw percentage away from home. They've covered just 4 out of their last 11 after 4 or less days off. Now, UVA, on the other side, one of the best covering teams in college basketball, actually better than Gonzaga when it comes to covering the number. They're 24-11 against the spread overall for the year, 14-5 ATS away from home. They're covering 67% of their games when laying the points and 71% against the spread as the official road favorite. A couple more things to add. Very, very impressive stats here. UVA is covering 77% of their games after 4 or less days off. They're a perfect 6-0 against the number in their games that tipped off at the current point spread. Virginia ranks first in college basketball in points allowed. Their opponents are scoring just 54 points per contest on average. Now, total-wise, Virginia's 8-3 to the over, taking on teams allowing less than 67 points per contest. Markets over-adjusting for this stingy UVA defense. Meanwhile, Purdue 69% to the over, taking on teams averaging 67 to 72 points per contest. Like I said, I think the markets and the public over-adjusting for the stingy defense. I like UVA -4 after buying the hook, and the over 126 in that matchup there. All right, so let's slide into some NHL action. Unfortunately, I got a late start today. Have to skip the early games, but we are going to begin with Monty